Hey guys, this is Eve with Scrapbooking with Me, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips, Tricks, and Techniques. Sometimes that gets harder and harder for me to say. But today what we're going to do is, first off, I'm going to show you some freebies that I have made for you. We have this sheet of labels, and I've already used one out of here. You'll see it in a moment. And then this sheet of tags, and again, I've used one. You'll see that in a moment. And then we have this little sheet of Easter tags. Now, I have a lot of people who say, I don't want to use cardstock in my printer. I understand that. Some printers will not pull cardstock in at all. My LaserJet printer will not pull my heavy cardstock in. I understand. If you have a printer that you don't want to use cardstock in, I'm going to show you how to use these by printing them on regular copy paper. This is just regular old copy paper, that thin stuff. And then we'll back them and we'll use them and make them into beautiful thick tags that we can put in our journals or our mini albums, whatever. And then on this one, I also just put a little eyelet in the corner, and then I just hung a little tag from it. That way when I tuck it in the pocket, I'll have that little tag hanging out. And this little tag just says happiness. So let's show you exactly how you can do this. I'm sure other people have already done this and you may already know how to do it. But I'm going to show you my process. Now, these are free to you. And like I said, the only thing that we ever ask of you is please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can have these PDFs for free. We don't charge anything for them right now. One of these days we may have to start charging. Right now I'm going to give them to everybody for free, just simply because everybody is struggling right now, just trying to make ends meet with everybody getting laid off and all the things going on. So they're going to be free for you for right now. Now this is a very thin paper, as I've told you. It's very, very thin. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull in a scrap piece of paper, and I'm just going to use my glue stick. Now, you can use art glitter glue on this, but you're probably going to be able to see the glue lines in here. So I would suggest getting a really strong glue stick. This is a Pioneer, and it works great. It's acid-free, so you could use it even on your photos. But it just seems to help when you're doing thin paper like this because it doesn't show through. And I just use an old scrap sheet of paper to lay under it to make sure that I don't get the glue everywhere. And then you're just going to lay it down on your cardstock. And then just press it down all the way around. Using your bone folder helps a lot, just to make sure that everything is pressed down. All of that glue is squirted out to the edges and that kind of thing. Now you're going to trim this off. And you can see I didn't trim my label exactly right. So when I trim this, I'm going to make sure that I cut that white part off right there. So you get 2 chances to trim. And then I'll show you what we do. Even after we trim this, when we still have a little bit of white showing or a little bit of a mistake in our cutting, not a problem. Now you can use white cardstock behind this if you want. I'm using brown because the brown seems to help through this paper, but you can use white if you want to. This is a pretty thick cardstock, so it's going to make my tag really thick. There we go. And then I'll save these little pieces for those smaller tags. Okay, then I go ahead. Now these are just some hole reinforcers, and I have just colored them with my ink. I just take my ink. This is a Tim Holtz, what color is this? This is Vintage Photo, and I color those up. You can take them, buy the white ones and color them any color that you want. Saves quite a bit of money. I'm going to put this right on the top. And then I'm just going to take that and punch out my hole. Now, there's a nice heavy tag, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to ink around this. Now, you don't have to ink the distress ink. A lot of people don't like that, you know, lots of ink distress look. If you just want to ink your edges to make sure you cover that white core of your paper, hold your ink tool to the side and just ink this way. Just straight into it. If you want the more vintage look, then hold it up and ink into the paper like that to get that more vintage edge. It depends on what you want. I like the little bit of vintage look around mine. It doesn't bother me. But if you just want to cover that white core, just hold it straight into that tag like that. That's just another little tip for you. So inking doesn't mean that you're going to have to get that vintage look every time you ink. You can just cover the white core of that paper. Simple as that. Now see how pretty that tag looks now? I like that. And you don't see any white core. And then on the back, of course I used a scrap piece and I used that. But if you put this on the back and you don't want to glue this down, you could always just use this for journaling on the back. Simple, simple. And then I use a piece of our twine. And I just cut a little piece of twine and I fold it in half like that. And then I just push it through that hole. And grab both of those little ends and pull them through. And there's my tag. Simple and easy as that. And then you have some nice cardstock tags and you didn't have to run that heavy cardstock through your printer. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget, you can get those freebies. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. Then you can go over to the link that's below that says blog and you can print off these freebies. Alright, well, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.